What if ancient Rome had modern medicine, only to trigger a superplague that erased their empire? Imagine Roman legions marching not with crude bandages, but with sterile dressings, their cities boasting public health initiatives that would make medieval Europe blush. We envision Roman surgeons performing complex procedures with aseptic techniques, drastically reducing mortality from battlefield wounds and everyday ailments. This isn't a utopia, it's a calculated change with a devastating twist. The foundation of this medical revolution would be the widespread use of early antibiotics, perhaps derived from mold cultures or other natural sources, similar to what Alexander Fleming would discover centuries later. This consistent exposure, even to less potent early antibiotics, would be a breeding ground for resistance. By 200 AD, as Roman influence peaked, a subtle evolutionary pressure would begin. Bacteria, constantly exposed to these new drugs, would start developing defenses. Fast forward to 300 AD, and the problem escalates. While common infections are largely controlled, the stage is set for disaster. A new strain of bacteria, perhaps a mutated form of Staphylococcus or Streptococcus, emerges. Because the Roman medical system relies heavily on these antibiotics, the population has lost its natural immunity to more aggressive strains. When this hyper-resistant pathogen emerges, it finds an empire utterly defenseless. Unlike the historical plagues that often swept through populations with varying degrees of resistance, this Roman superbug would be almost universally lethal. Imagine the most advanced hospitals in the world, suddenly unable to treat a single patient. The carefully constructed sanitation systems, designed to prevent minor infections, now accelerate the spread of a microscopic killer. The infrastructure meant to support millions begins to crumble as doctors and nurses fall ill, the supply chains for even basic care break down. This isn't a slow decline, it's a catastrophic collapse. The very civilization that mastered engineering and governance is undone by its own medical ingenuity, succumbing not to barbarians at the gates, but to an invisible enemy born from its own advanced healing. Subscribe before the next timeline begins.